Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very interesting video topic. This is going to be a new completely way to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's going to be these alternative formats that we're going to be actually able to participate in. So it's going to be kind of a discussion video. I'm curious to know your guys' input. We're going to have some Dueling Network gameplay in the background, but I really want to go ahead and show you guys how much this is actually blowing up over on Reddit, as well as other Yu-Gi-Oh forums and communities. So basically, these are going to be sanctioned alternative formats by Konami. We're talking Goat Deck, Deck Master. There's a lot of different ways to play. So let's go ahead and first off go over the rules of these alternate formats. I'm not going to read every single piece of text on screen. I'm just going to go too long, didn't read variants of it. So different ways to play officially in like big Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, and you're going to have to pay to play in these tournaments just like you would in any other Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. It looks like we're going to be paying $5 and we are going to be getting one OTS pack as the entry fee for the tournament. We can play alternate formats. So one of them over here that they're mentioning is the Time Wizard format, which is going to actually be bringing back the formats from other times, so retro formats. They specifically mention if Time Wizard traveled back into the US National Championship in 2005, the tournament would be using the April 2005 Forbidden list, and so basically different ban lists, and the last legal set would be Dark Beginnings 2. So those guys that are a fan of older format Yu-Gi-Oh, where you're like, oh, I don't like Synchros, XYZs, and like all of those things. In fact, I even pulled up over on like Yu-Gi-Oh Pro just for this video, where there's like no archetypes, no these cards, no hand traps, creative decks only. Even if we go back to some of the videos that like were actually super popular, like this was one that I uploaded. It was like no Ash, no Vela, no Ghost, Ogre, no Reaper, none of these like other Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You'll be good to go. If you don't like playing in those specific Yu-Gi-Oh formats, this could be definitely a format for you. And there's more than just like that format over here. So I'm not sure if this Time Wizard one is just going to be specific to like Dark Beginnings 2 being the last set, and like basically you can run everything before that. So it could be something where it's just a certain like time period, if that makes sense. So don't set it in stone that it's just for 2005 ban list, but there's actually really alternate ways to play, which is actually cool too. So Heart of the Underdog is going to be another way to play. So this is another way that you guys can play, so you don't have to worry about like Drytron, Tri Brigade, which is funny because I just literally spectated this game and it happens to be Drytron. Over, well, actually it was what's this one? This one is Tri Brigade. Okay, but nonetheless, certain decks are going to be getting banned for these. So they say specifically for these events, OTS determines the deck types that duelists are not allowed to use. Meaning, so certain, instead of like, you know, cards being banned, decks are just straight up being banned. So it specifically mentions Drytron, Tri Brigade over here. Duelists then compete using less frequently used decks. And I think this is great because some decks are so close to becoming meta that it's just like, if these other decks weren't available, this would be the next best deck. And I think that's a really cool way to play as well. They mentioned more casual tournaments. Again, that's kind of cool. They're going to also mention the Pegasus, which is going to be common charity formats, which is actually really cool. So if you guys don't know what the common charity format is, it's kind of like just picking one rarity of a card. So they have this on the wiki, but I've actually seen this before, and it actually adds a lot more value to the game to certain cards, and I'll kind of basically talk about it really quick. So how it works for some of these like alternate formats, like the common charity ones, you're only allowed to build a deck using common cards, but this could also be something where they may apply it so you can only use super rares, only use ultra rares. So like everything that includes the extra deck, the side deck, they all have to be the exact same rarity, which is kind of cool. They have done this before in the past with some tournaments, but I think that it'd be cool for these to be really supported in, again, large-scale tournaments. And again, it's more of an official thing because, I mean, you can play with your friends, you can host a game in, like, Dueling Book or Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro and say, like, this format only, or you can only use these cards. But, again, the more ways we have to play, the more players, I think, can be able to play the game on a consistent basis because, like I said, and I've mentioned it so many times, like, it's kind of funny to see how often you see people that host these games, and this is not just for like Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, which I'm showing off right here. I mean, heck, we can go into like the game right now and we can hit refresh, and you'll see a lot of people that will say like anime only, or like I guess the no quitters. But there's a lot of duels will say like, for example, no links and pendulums. If this is the format that you guys want to be playing in, that can be for you as well. But I really like that they are expanding the ability to play different formats for, I guess, casual play, because if you tell a player that never played Yu-Gi-Oh! To just hop in, they're going to be bringing like their Blue Eyes deck. which is something I want to actually mention with another format over here. So this is Deck Master. This is another way to play. So it's based on the YuGiOh anime. So you can actually just summon monsters without tributing. So Deck Master over here is based on the anime arc when Noah and Kaiba brought Yugi friends to the virtual world. Okay, anyways, so the Deck Master begins each game outside of the deck, which is actually really cool. This is something that's actually being introduced into other Yu-Gi-Oh games where you always start out with like your ace card, and I like this idea. It's almost, if you kind of want to think of it, if you guys have played Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, the mobile game, you kind of get like a special ability, and some abilities could be similar to kind of how some of this stuff works, and I like this idea. So with this Deck Master, the Deck Master begins each game outside of the deck. Any effects of the monster apply as if the monster were face up on the field. Duelists can normal summon the Deck Master to the field, ignoring any summoning requirements anytime they would be able to normal summon a monster. So what I'm assuming that means you can just normal summon Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, I'm guessing like Utopia, Stardust Dragon, maybe Odd Eyes Pendulum, or just, you know, any of those like fan favorite cards that are from the anime. That could be kind of good, but I feel like this is slightly good way for entry players to be able to actually play Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's like, oh, this is my favorite thing. What do you mean I can't just summon Blue Eyes like the anime? It really helps out for that. And I think that's going to be kind of cool. And it also says no tributes are required for all of them, and no materials are needed for the fusion, synchro monsters, and exceeds monsters. And I don't think you guys have to worry if you guys are worried about just someone being like, okay, I get all of the Exodia. It's not going to be that broken, guys. I'm sure they're going to have some rules to it. I don't think you can choose everything, by the way, because if you could choose anything, people will be like, I could choose any fusion monster, and I just apply the effect. Okay, I go for Warrior from Another Planet. GG's. Like, they're probably not going to allow every single card. So I did see people that were worried, and I do want to kind of touch upon some of the people commenting on this because I'm curious to see their thoughts on it as well. But it's pretty cool. And then the Deck Master is destroyed, the duelist loses the game. It almost reminds me of, I don't know if you guys played like Duelist of the Roses. Like you have like, it was almost like a chess, you know, board. And I like that idea. It's like if this card dies, you lose the game. I mean, could you just be like Smashing Ground or like what, like Hammer Shot? Like that'd be so easy to pull off. Like, you know how broken like Regeki and Dark Hole or like any of these cards would be. Maybe they're gonna have alternate formats for like rules. And there's also another Rivalry of Warlords format. They're excited to announce a new program that we'll surely want to participate in. So it's going to be a fun and easy way to introduce duelists to the themes that they may not have commonly played. I'm not sure what that really is. It doesn't really specify over here, but this was just something that was posted. Actually, a lot of other Yu-Gi-Oh content creators talking about it, and I'm here to give you guys my thoughts on it. Overall, obviously, the more formats we have, it's good, but that kind of dilutes the player base for like the main core audience. I mean, the main core audience usually knows what meta is. They're usually playing on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro or non-official Yu-Gi-Oh! Apps. But to add more to like actual physical tournaments, I think that's good. Like if you go scrub out, you get unlucky, you get sacked, you end up playing against Mystic Mind, and you just don't want to deal with these kinds of things, you have alternate ways to play. But going into some of the comments, this is the one that's the most upvoted. It has over 119, it has 119 upvotes. It's really good. It's going to be official, and I would agree with this. Let's see. It says it could mean we could see Go format. That would be pretty cool. I know that that's still relatively popular, you know, over on like Dueling Book and stuff. That's good. And they're also saying the timing could indicate some of these formats are available in Master Duels. That's what I'm actually interested in too, because I hate arguing on Dueling Book and stuff. Like you can play on these alternate formats, but then some people are like, this is not meta, or like you're not allowed to play this card. And I said no Lynx monsters, but I could play Link monsters. There's a lot of weird rules. To have it officially supported, that would be pretty cool. The expectation Konami is working on its format specific ban list. That would be really cool that they're going to support. Yeah, that'd be interesting if they have like 10 different ban lists for all of these. That actually adds so much complexity to the game. And again, I mean, the more ways that we have to play, I think it is better, but I'm really curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on this. Supported, I say Konami supported Generation Duelist Extravaganza format. Neither were successful. I hope these, oh, you know what? They did have a lot of these other formats. Shout out to the people, yo, drop a like on this video, comment Dungeon Dice if you guys remember, if you're old enough to remember Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice, because I think that thing wasn't really successful, but that thing was so complex. You know what? Maybe one day we'll actually play Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice. I don't even know how to play. I love playing Time Wizard format somewhere in the 5Ds era. Yes. Oh wait, Goat reprint. formats coming. I don't know about that. They don't support these. There's nothing that says OTS can't implement their own ban list. That's true, but I just think it's hard. If it's not like an official thing, people just don't really care about it, and that definitely is something that I would consider. Too soon wanting a toss format. So Deckmaster Inspector Border versus Deckmaster Barrier Statue. Nobody wins. Okay, realistically, the simplest way to clean this up would be just to disallow any deck master with cannot. Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's what I was saying before. There's no way you can just be like, okay, has cannot anywhere in his text. Okay, so I mean, if you just be like, okay, my deck master is Fossil Dyna, go ahead. Like, then what? You get your master first, and he can't special summon. And I don't know. It just opens up the doors for a lot of crazy things. The more crazy things as a content creator, I'm excited about. But again, I just feel like it could dilute. Wait, this one has more upvotes than the other one. So it says deck master is something people have been asking for years. It seems a lot of fun, but I always thought they'd make cards specifically designed to be deck masters and not allow just any player. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's a balanced nightmare. Vanity's ruler, mad tier 0. Yeah, okay. But I'm curious, guys. What are some other OP deck masters? Because like I said, like you can throw in like Jowgen and like you say, okay, I go Jowgen go first. Okay, your monster's special summon, unless deck master doesn't count as special summon, you can just be like Jowgen. Okay, activate effect, just call one card. Okay, GG. Because if the deck master is gone, then you lose. Like, there's gonna be, I guarantee you, it's Stardust, Utopia, Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, Red Eyes. It's gonna be like non-insanely OP monsters. At least that's my thoughts on it. But you guys can let me know your thoughts on any of the things that we talked about. Are you guys excited about it, or you guys feel like, because it will 100% dilute the audience, and sometimes with games when there's too many modes, there's not enough players in a mode, so it takes a long time for the search queue. I know this definitely happens with some games when there's like a mode that people don't want to play. Like usually in a lot of video games, like Team Deathmatch is the mode that has everyone, and if you go to these other modes, because I used to play Call of Duty, some of these other modes, there would just be no one playing them because, you know, you're basically splitting up the player base. And like, it's like, oh, you play YuGiOh, what format do you play? Oh, I play this one, and there's 10 different formats. It's like, oh, you want a duel? Oh, I don't have a deck for this format. That's what I mean by diluting the players and kind of changing up the experience. But at least for now, I think it's a cool idea. But let me know your thoughts down below. But thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn that bell if you want to see more YuGiOh discussion videos like this in the future. And I'm really curious to see where this goes. But take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.